The window needs to be higher for me. If I sit straight up, can't see a thing. I gotta slouch.
So here we are.
Slouch. A tremendous slouch.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, day 3. We've had rain all day, and now we got winds kicking up. Sitting in a different pop-up line with a little bit more space. Cross shooting, as you can hear the wind whipping. And oh, that worked out real good, didn't it? Come on, I guess I'm trying to mess with my camera. It says recording, so bear with us, Nomad fans, as I had to switch the camera around.
The temperatures starting to fall.
Yeah.
The snow's coming.
So we're gonna gut it out. The wind is coming down, rain is coming down in sheets because of the wind. We're up on a ridge, but we're kind of tucked back in some pines. Hopefully it'll benefit us, but it's miserable out, Nomad fan. Miserable, I'm saying.
Give it a shot.
Well, snow is coming down now. Wind is still kicking. Drifted between snow, slush, rain.
Very few hunting shows actually show you the reality of what it's like to hunt and only have an unlimited amount of time to do that. But at Nomad Outdoors, we go hardcore. That's why we're waiting here, just in case.
Brought to you from the makers of rain, it's snow.
As you can see, this weather is not getting any better. We've got high winds, and we had rain. Now we have sleet and snow and blowing wind. But that sure beats up being at work, I suppose, eh? You know, you sit here and you look out the blind window and looking across some of these openings and you think, man, you know, maybe it could happen. Maybe a deer could just run across there. It's the only hope that keeps us sitting in this blind, waiting to see if maybe something comes out.
That's my left ear. My favorite ear is my left ear.
With this weather continually getting worse and worse, I think we are contemplating calling it a night.
And it only gets better.
I think it's starting to snow. Did you see your shot?
Well, I got my hearing aid out, so.
Probably somebody just killed himself.
Probably.
I figured this is pointless.
Well, I think by the looks of this wind, and that wind blowing horizontally, it's about time to call it quits. Easing on into day 4. We definitely got a lot of snow over the night. The wind is still a little breezy, still cold, but the clouds are starting to break ever so slightly, giving a little bit of hope for the rest of the day's hunt. Didn't see anything this morning anyways.
Tuesday morning. Storm went through last night. Nasty, nasty weather. We went from 50-degree weather to 20-degree weather. So, trying to gut it out, but this wind is kicking my butt. I had to readjust to it, so anyways, it's now Tuesday. We've had every type of weather you think that we could have. We had 50-degree weather. We had partly cloudy. We had freezing rain. We've had snow. We've had high winds, 50-mile-an-hour winds. We lost power. Yeah, we've done it all just in 4 days. 4 days. Yeah. So, thank you, Mother Nature, for giving us...
Need that, cruise ship companies.
Yeah. We've experienced every type of weather you could throw at us. Minus a tornado, but you tried to throw at us yesterday.
Some malaria would be fine.
Yeah, some malaria, some Ebola.
Cover all the bases.
Yeah. Maybe we could have a thunderstorm, like lightning and whatnot.
Well, I mean, that's the only thing we missed was we had the torrential downpour, we just didn't have the thunder and lightning. I made the sounds. But that was it.
So, no real time to set up any permanent stands, permanent locations. Everything has been on the fly, as it normally is for Nomad Outdoors. Weather's been too miserable to even do any type of scouting. So today I'm going to take a 1.5-mile walk, which it's going to be close because it's almost 3 o'clock right now. Hopefully I can do it in an hour. And Gray Bear is going to come in from the other side, set up the pop-up blind, and I will meet
check
him
out the
over
other
there.
side of the gate real quick myself and see if I can see anything.
Yeah,
I can see anything. There's a little bit of snow on the ground, so maybe we'll get lucky and run across some tracks somewhere just to show some movement.
Something.
If nothing else, we'll fall right back to the last night's position, which was a long view into the woods. Well, a long shot, but giving us if anything's going to move out or through the edge of cover near where the acorns are, where the ridge road is. So, I guess on a day like this, after the storm yesterday, you got to think that they're going to be wanting to turn the feedback on. So,
we'll hope for the best.
There's taxidermist in there.
I didn't hit record on that. Leaving Keith. He's up at the truck. I'm going to try and cut back on through this swamp. See if I can get through it. So, I got across the swamp. Now I'm going to take this 1.5-mile walk to Gray Bear's location. Gonna look for some deer tracks, which I see some already. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll see a deer on the way.
Oh, what is this? Tough Mudder? A water hazard? Definitely had a wet fall. And a lot of these trails are soaked over and all the swamps are much higher than usual. So my little 1.5-mile jaunt turns into a Tough Mudder competition. The rest of my trip was pretty uneventful, so there was nothing to video. This next section I meet up with Gray Bear and go over a game plan for the rest of the evening. Nice deer tracks.
So finally met up with Gray Bear after my little walk. Divide up this 2-track. What's that? He's gonna stay here. And I'm gonna go on the other side of this ridge. This clearing.
Let's hope we can at least see something.
Alright.
Well, we decided with the lack of deer, or the lack of deer sign that we had, we were going to split ourselves up. Gray Bear sitting up on this ridge, looking over to the right of your screen would be his left. There's a depression that had a lot of deer tracks in it. I'm going to follow this 2-track around, which is basically the high point of a ridge that circles around a depression. We have in the past, up straight ahead of me where that road starts to turn, we've had deer that'll cut through there and cut back down into the low ground. As you can see, I'm panning back and forth looking back at Gray Bear stand, and you can see over on my right hand side is the depression, which is probably a pretty significant drop. It's probably about a 40-foot slow slope that goes down, meets up with the swamp to the right. You know, I talk to a lot of guys about hunting, and they like to tell me, oh, you come hunt with me, but be ready for some tough hunting. I think this episode of Nomad Outdoors pretty much shows what tough hunting is really about. You know, you have a limited amount of time, vacation time from work, so you want to maximize the amount of time that you spend in the field. A lot of guys would have opted to not be out in the woods during this bad weather, or maybe even wrapped it up and went home. But us at Nomad Outdoors, we believe that, you know, any time in the field is an experience. And just being out here, even if we don't see anything, you know, we love being in the woods. You know, I love tracking. I like to be looking down on the ground, seeing what kind of tracks, what kind of deer are moving around, what the activity is. So, you know, every day that you're in the field, you gain that much more experience. I'm going to walk up to top of this ridge up here and face towards Gray Bear. Will be over my right shoulder, and down the left that 2-track continues on. We have seen deer activity and rubs and scrapes through here in the past. So as a last ditch effort to try and get some hunting in, I'm just going to set my little seat down here against this deadfall, and as we always say, hope for the best.
Set up in an area that's in the pop-up, but pretty much only shots for one guy. So I'm looking kind of over my left shoulder here, that way. Gonna hang tight here. Decided to split off from Gray Bear. Not much cover, just a couple of dead trees fell down here. Kinda nestled on my seat right in the middle. Give you a look around.
Well, looking back over my shoulder, that goes back into the pines. This is still looking left on this high ground. Up dead ahead of me is the swamp. And the swamp kind of wraps around, coming down into this depression. And Gray Bear's pretty much sitting directly across from me at that point.
I'm hoping they'll come in on a low point in this ridge. Skirt along the bottom side. Or try to cut across the trail to my left. See what happens.
That was about the most excitement I had all evening talking to the camera. So we pretty much wrapped it up after not seeing a single deer. Head back to the truck, get the heater going, and get some warm coffee. Hot coffee.
Ooh.
How'd that
Yeah, a little.
go? What?
It was cold.
Well, some bicycles going, I guess.
Snot juice.
Cold night.
But that says it's 30. But I started camper driving it. You should come out and start messing around with that pop-up, which is frozen. So I could barely get the zippers to shut because it was so it was wet from all that rain yesterday.
Yeah.
And when we put it away, it froze up. What are you gonna do? You can't bring it in the camper. I'm gonna dump a gallon of water all over the floor.
Yeah.
So, you know, besides you can take it back out again, and the same thing's gonna happen. But once we finally got set, after I met the tracker and his son, who about, I may have to change my shorts when I get back because he walked right up 20 feet behind me and didn't want to say anything because he knew it'd scare the jeepers out of me, and you just get that feeling that somebody's running and turn around and yanks me. I didn't want to scare you. You got me anyway. Coming or going, you got me. But it was nice to know that he's trapping out here. This guy says he puts out, somebody else traps out here. I'm like, there's a lot of trapping that goes on. He goes, you have no idea. He goes, I've been trapping this whole system, I think he said like 40 years.
Wow.
Starting back off of 61, where the river starts, where the Tittabawassee comes up from there, and the whole system, all the way up and down here, he traps. He says he'll put out 1,000 traps in a year.
Wow.
In the bed of his truck, aside from the 5 muskrats and the 1 raccoon, was just loaded with traps. He even makes his own baskets now. Instead of buying baskets, they make they bend the wood ash. They bend their own ash wood and make their own baskets that they carry on their backs. I was pretty impressed.
Nice.
You know, and he's like, that boy of mine, he's got himself a girlfriend, and we didn't start checking traps till noon. And his boy of his is 28 years old. And he comes up, he's got a nice purple thumb, or one of the traps went off on him.
Yikes.
I'm like, I better watch my steps. He goes, you'll never see the traps. Trust me, you'll never know they're there. He says the worst problem they've got is hunters that come along and take stuff out of their traps. I'm like, why would anybody want to come out? They know you got to check it every day. But then I said, you know what? But people take their trail cameras, their pop-up blinds, their tree stands. I mean, I'm surprised those guys that got their trailers parked over there don't come back and find all their trailers taken. If it ain't nailed, if it ain't dug in like a tick, the people just take it.
All right, let's go get some chow.
Let's get some warmth.